When I last visited Japan, I had a really good time at the arcade. This is a bag of some of the many things that I actually won as prizes. I won little sharks. I even won a Godzilla. But one of the more impressive prizes that I won at the Taito arcade was this figure. This is the Taito exclusive Hatsune Miku Taito Game Station uniform figure. This figure is actually exclusive to Taito Game Station. There's quite a few different game centers in Japan, of which many are owned by Sega, and quite a few are also owned by Taito. Now, sometimes they get exclusive prizes, and this figure happens to be one of those exclusives. When I first saw it, I absolutely fell in love. I love Hatsune Miku, and this figure is actually really nice. As you can see on the box, there is a Space Invader because that is indeed a Taito game, and Hatsune Miku's logo down here in the bottom, some Japanese text saying that this is the uniform figure, and on the top it mentions the crossover between the two brands. On the side we have some shots of the figure herself. On this side we have an adorable illustration by the artist Mago, and this is truly an adorable drawing. I really like this a lot. And there you go, it even lists on the box that the illustration was done by Mago. Really nice to give them credit. The bottom mentions the crossover again, and the actual front of the box is this lovely close-up shot of the figure. But let's open this thing up because we actually have to assemble this. Everything in there is very snugly bubble wrapped, which is really nice because that prevents anything from getting damaged. You do have to win this thing out of a UFO catcher after all. So she actually only consists of about 4 parts. Miku herself is just this one single unit, and her hair comes as these additional parts as the tails. The final piece is this little egg, which is cute. It's actually decorated with some stars. It has a little ribbon on top with some flexible plastic, and there's a little Space Invader inside there. Very cute. And he's affixed well, so if you shake it, he's not gonna move. Finally, most excitingly, we get this little plastic clear base, which, it does what it needs to do. The easiest way to do this is probably to take the figure and plug her hair in first, which will be hard to show you on screen, but, let's go. What's important is that the nub that you plug her hair into is actually shaped different for each side, so just make note when you're actually looking at the way it plugs in, that you're plugging the right side in there. It was actually really, really easy. Just plug her right into the stand now. And finally, all we have to do is plug the little egg right into her hands there, and it just kind of rests, which is nice, because then you could put a number of things in her hands. And that's pretty much all there is to it. The figure is really simple to put together because it's just a simple statue. And like I said, this was a figure that I won out of a UFO catcher, and I think I only spent maybe $10 trying to win it, which I think is pretty good. Now, of course, when I was trying to win this thing, I did get the attendant to come over and help me with it. This is something great that you can do at arcades in Japan, is you can ask for assistance if maybe you reset the figure and it's at a place where it's going to be too hard to win. And of course, all you have to look for is someone wearing a similar outfit to Miku here, because one of the best things about this is that she's actually dressed in the uniform that the attendants wear at the game station. I think that was the most charming thing about this. The same uniform that the really nice people who were helping me in the arcade was actually on Miku herself. And it made her seem so much more, friendly? Obviously enough, Miku is a lovely design, but that contrast with the red and black of her outfit worked so well. Plus, it was a familiar outfit of something that was really kind to me. This is one of my more fond memories of Japan, was winning this figure, because I brought it home and it was a true souvenir from being in the country. There's a little bit of molding lines on her, of which I would really love to try to sand out, and I may even try to do it, though I'm tempted not to because I don't want to ruin her. But still, those errors are few and far between. One of the things I like most about this figure is just how simple it is. The uniform is incredibly nice and just so satisfying to look at. It's plain, but ultimately there's enough detail there that really makes it stand out. From the tiny Space Invader on the front of her uniform, to her name tag, to even the stripes on her outfit. Her shoes having the 01 for Miku on them, and even having waffles on the bottom of them. She even has a tiny Space Invader on the tag on her bag, which I think is pretty impressive that it's not so bad looking. These types of prize figures are usually really cheap, and honestly, I'm not seeing that with this. There's a really good level of quality here. The sculpting is pretty darn good, and it's really not that simple. The way that her socks are pinching her legs is really impressive, and even under her skirt we can see just a tiny little bit of shape to her butt, which I think is a little risque, but still it just shows that extra bit of detail that was put into the crafting of this figure. She even has this tiny little tuft of hair coming off the back of her head, which is absolutely adorable. Each finger has the painstaking detail of putting nails on the tip of each one, so honestly, I can't be mad at this. This is some damn good detail for a prize figure. And most glorious have to be these tails. This hair is absolutely gorgeous. It's so satisfying to look at. It almost looks like candy. I kind of want to eat it. But let me get away from this, because I'll sit here and talk about this all day until I'm blue in the face, like Miku's hair. Or sort of a bluish green. It's been out for quite a few years, and from my understanding, there's actually a new figure in the series. So when I go back to Japan, I am dead certain going to be trying to win that, so I can put it in my collection with this figure. This is the first time I've seen her again since I won her from the arcade. Of course, she was displayed inside the UFO catcher, but I honestly didn't remember how beautiful this figure actually was until I opened it up. There's very minor details that I wish were a little bit different, but they're just part of being cheap figures. Production can be weird on these kinds of things, so I completely understand it not measuring up to an $80 statuette. And with all that in mind, considering the detail and considering the quality of this and the overall presentation, I'm going to give this Miku an 8 out of 10. Prize figures have come such a long way. I think this Miku here, for what it's worth, if you spend anywhere between $15 and $20 on it, I'd say is absolutely worth that. I've heard they even show up on AmiAmi sometimes in their used section, so keep an eye open. But with that, thank you so much for watching. Do you like this figure, or do you like Hatsune Miku? If so, why don't you leave a like on the video? And hey, why don't you drop your favorite Hatsune Miku or favorite Vocaloid song in the comments? Make sure to subscribe so that you can stay tuned for all of my figure reviews as they come out each week. I'm gonna link something on screen here, so why don't you watch that? Even if you've seen it, clicking it does help me out. So with all that, thank you so much for watching. I'll meet you at the Game Center and we'll win all of these figures. Until then, have an awesome weekend and keep on collecting.